Sandbox, do you need that? No, right now, you got. Long shots is it. Get it. You'll see. Great well, boss, and that's a finisher. Kick it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Oh, I've been itching to do this. Right, welcome. 12-Man Podcast live.
I think he's disappeared, John.
Yeah, well, he was interrupted there, wasn't he? Live and uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted, and he's gone. I think we need to cut off and come back to it. I don't know.
No idea. We'll see.
I think we need to. I think we'll have to. I think we have to go off, do we not? And then come back on.
Well, you'll have to give us a new code, though, won't he?
Yeah.
So just wait and see. See what happens.
Yeah, he comes. He's coming back. He's back from the dead, is he?
He's muted.
Too many Jaeger bombs, I think.
Dan Neil hasn't had his revenge, has he?
Here we go.
Now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. What happened to you?
I pressed the wrong button. Anywho,
your last words were uninterrupted. Yeah,
I know, it's great, isn't it? It's going to sound so good. But yes, it is live. It is uninterrupted. I'm not pressing any more buttons because I'm not allowed.
I thought Dan Neil had burst into the studio there.
I did a call there. I just avoided his tackle. Soft ass. You just missed Cutler's introduction to the complete whole show. Say it again for me, my man.
Ah, well, some of the older faces will know what this is alluding to. So, Steve Cram, Michael Gray, Jordan Pickford, Jordan Henderson. Your boys took one hell of a beating.
One hell of a beating. I can't wait to talk about this. This is going to be so good. Right.
It must have took some Googling to find 10 famous Mackems, mate.
Honestly, you wouldn't believe it.
To be fair, it did. It took both of us to do it. So we even came with Emily Sandy at one point. So, you know, that's how far we got. So
where was Kate Adie? She's on the list.
She was.
She was indeed.
But we don't know if she's like a famous Mackem supporter. But hey, I don't. It's not. It isn't. It's not a problem. Thank you. Right.
I'm sure I've seen her sneaking out in about 65 minutes, but never mind.
She stayed more than most of them.
I was going to say that's more than most of them did. Anywho, we're completely spoiling what we're going to talk about. So you got me, Steve Jackson. I'm in the main chair as usual, pressing no buttons anymore. Mr. John Cutler's alongside me. Evening, Cuts.
Evening, gentlemen.
Evening. And got a full house, of course. Mr. Steve Dixon's with us. Evening, Dicko.
Evening, everybody. How are you?
Oh,
good fellow.
All right, yeah. Come on, right. And we've got Mr. John Donovan. Evening, John Don.
Now then, how's things?
Oh,
everybody must be happy, are they?
Couldn't be better, could they?
Happy. Very happy. Such a good weekend, wasn't it? Such a good weekend.
I think Richard Jackson knows exactly what we're going to talk about. First message of the night. It's the bragging rights show.
See, even the old man knows what I'm talking about here. He knows. It's going to be such a good show. So what are we going to talk about?
Well, it's a shame the show's not an hour and a half, so we can go through every single minute.
I know. I wish I could. Make it an hour and 45. I'll tell you what 15 minutes of half time was like as well, if you want. But yes, let's get stuck in. You know, we've came into this game, the game that's not a derby, on the back of four wins in a row. Cuts. We met Saturday morning, bright and early.
We did indeed.
Even before the birdies woke up. And I said to you, I felt confident. I was a bit nervous, but I felt confident.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3 out of 4 of us predicted us for a win last week, so it showed that we were going into the game full of confidence. I know they're higher in the league than us, but I wouldn't swap our squad with theirs, man for man. No way. They've got a few good players. I thought it'd be a tough game. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't a tough game, but fortunately for us, it was very easy.
Oh, how good's that to say? Just to say,
I say it's easy. We made it look easy. I mean, if you go into the first half, they had one chance, then the last 5 minutes they had a couple of shots on goal, but we were absolutely fantastic.
I don't know how you're going to describe that shot from Patrick Roberts as own goal.
Well,
right? Owen Farrell got closer and he plays rugby. Right, absolutely horrendous. Right. The myth of Patrick Roberts continues. That's all I'm saying. But John Don, obviously you made the journey up with us. Obviously well organised again. Thank you so much for organising as usual. Were you as confident as me cuts were? I mean, I wasn't meeting nervous usual self for a non-derby game, but I felt quite confident on Saturday morning.
Well, in the group bets, I took 2-1. But I was talking to Dicko before the game, and I said I would have been happy with a point. So I was confident of us getting something from the game, but I wouldn't say I was confident of us winning. I wanted us to win, obviously. I mean, that goes by the by. But yeah, I mean, as it turned out, it was beyond my expectations. Fantastic.
No, I mean, don't spoil it for people that don't know what
happened.
No, don't spoil it. Hey, you're doing a really good impression of the Stadium of Light. Well done, Dicko. It was good to have you in the away end on Saturday. Obviously, you got a last minute ticket, which we were more than happy to get you. How are you feeling getting the Metro across down to Sunderland?
I wasn't even thinking about the game. I was just hoping John had my ticket. To be honest, that's all I was worrying about. I was just thinking, please, John, be on me ticket. But a little bit apprehensive because they have been playing well. Sunderland, I've watched a few of the games and they're a decent side at home going forward. I know they've done slightly better away, but they do have some good attacking threats on the wide areas. And when I got to the ground, obviously had a few pints talking to John, and when the teams come through, and you look at, let's be honest, you look at the team and you see that Johnny Howson's not starting, and you see that Riley McGree's not in the squad, and Vandenberg was in, then he was out. And I looked at the team, I thought, I haven't got a lot of pace in the side other than Jones either. I had a few, I was a little bit apprehensive, and I was like John, I was thinking if we can as long as they put 100% in the battle, stick the tackles in, puff the chests out, and give the way travelling supporters 100%. That'll do me today. Let's get a battling point. Can we nick it? That was my thought process before the game.
Well, if you remember, Steve, we said as long as we start off with an intensity, and not be passive. And I think Carrick alluded to that in his post-match speech when he said, we needed to not let them give the crowd something to work with, and I thought that's exactly how we did start. We showed our intention from the off.
I totally agree. With hindsight, actually, looking at the lineup, that's exactly what he picked. He picked players that were going to be strong, put the foot in, stand up. And I thought the first sort of 15 minutes, Middlesbrough were terrific. I was watching the game thinking this wasn't how I thought it would pan out, and I thought we looked dangerously comfortable. Actually, I thought they aren't causing any problems. We look strong. We look physically stronger than them. We look like we're more than a match for them, and I was pleasantly surprised. And it worked out a treat in terms of, I think we're more creative players with pace, players with goals in the game. We had a really exciting bench to fall back onto, and I think that was probably Sunderland's downfall in the end. The fact that our bench was so strong. If you the way the game went, you're playing against 10 men. to look at that bench, they must have been really panicking, the Sunderland management team, thinking the players we can bring on to hurt them in wide areas and up front. It all played into Middlesbrough's hands, really. So, tactic-wise...
Dicko, can you describe dangerously comfortable for me?
Dangerously comfortable. Well, what I mean by that is dangerously comfortable. I was expecting Sunderland to come out the traps and be all guns blazing and flying at Middlesbrough down the wings and, cause them lots of trouble. And I just thought, wait, they're not getting past with fullbacks. They're causing no trouble. We're quite comfortable. We're passing the ball around. They can't get the ball off. We look a little bit of a threat on the break. And I'm thinking, this can't continue. And my phrase is, we're dangerously comfortable. Yeah, this supposedly great attacking side are offering nothing here. We're quite a match for these. And that's how it panned out in the end. We were more than enough a match for them in all areas on the pitch. Brilliant.
I'm going to have to use that one. I've never heard that before, so it's a first.
Don't use it the night out. It never works.
You come back to man and be dangerously comfortable.
Well, I've got the name for this podcast. Thank you very much. That was easily done. But no, you're right. It's the team. There was a bit of apprehension for a few bit around me when they saw the team, and which turned out to be only one change. Obviously, I know there was two announced with Vandenberg coming in for Smith, but by the sounds of it, he picked up a knock in the warm up, but I can't confirm that. I didn't see that. But I mean, you're right. We cut you right with that team.
Yeah. Like the lads said earlier, I did expect Houghton to come in. But how many times do we say this? That Carrick got it absolutely spot on. We said it a load of time last season when certain things that we would have done, but you just can't fault it. And he deserved his little dance on the sideline that I seen that made me chuckle. That was great. So.
It was the Mackin behind him giving him big licks that gave me. That absolutely did me. I thought, sit down, you mess. What are you doing? but
isn't it brilliant though that Michael Carrick, despite all this calm, demeanour, and he's nothing gets us too high, nothing gets us too low. It's just another game. It's all about what we do on the day. I know the fans can get carried about. We can't. We've got to stay level, and we've got to use our brains. We've got garbage. That meant a lot to Michael Carrick. He was absolutely buzzing, and to see him leaping around on the touchline shows you how much it meant to him. Absolutely great to see. He's definitely got it in him. It's just he has this persona to the press that he likes to do. But Michael Carrick, I promise you, will have absolutely loved every second of that on Saturday.
I think what you saw on Saturday as well, that was the first glimpse of I'm a Geordie in a dugout away to Sunderland. I'm going to enjoy every single moment of this because I've wanted to do this so much in front of all them. And obviously didn't really get to do it when he was a Newcastle player. I know he did it when he was at Man United, but obviously wearing a Man United shirt doesn't mean as much. It's not a derby, is it, when you're playing for them? But oh God, it was amazing, absolutely amazing to watch the emotion come out of him as much as we did because he jumped straight on Woody, and obviously Woody's one of us, isn't he? So, but right, first half. Let's talk about the first half. There's two incidents I want to talk about. I'm going to come to you first, Dicko, for the first one. Describe to me, without having some sort of excited sound, how good Semi Dieng's save was from Patrick Roberts.
That save was as good as any of the 4 goals we scored, and as important. It was a vital moment in the game, a key moment in the game. It was a typical Patrick Roberts run. He cuts inside, and off he went. To be honest with you, I didn't think it was the best defending by Middlesbrough on that occasion. We seemed to back off a little bit, like we've been guilty of in the past, and let him come through. And it was a real big, strong boot by Dieng that come out, and he gambled a little bit because I think it was Dale Fry was covering the other side of the goal, and Patrick Roberts had to go for the other corner, and Dieng gambled and stuck a big leg out, and it was a real big save and a big moment in the game. And it was annoying because I agreed with Michael Carrick. I think there was a foul on Coburn just before that, and it wasn't given, and they broke from that and score. With the score, it could change the game. And also, even though they didn't score, it got their fans up for the first time in the game. And they had a little spell after that because it raised the roof a little bit for the first time because Middlesbrough had actually nullified the atmosphere completely. So that was quite annoying, but big save by Dieng, and he was a big presence all game on crosses. At the back, his distribution again was superb, and he's becoming a bit of a leader for Middlesbrough, actually. And I don't think we've had a goalkeeper for a lot of years that we could class as a leader, but he certainly seems to be one at the moment for when credit to him. Long may it continue. Great signing.
Absolutely. It was I can't put any more words to that. I thought the save was top notch. I said to you, didn't I? As soon as I went, that's a top save. That's absolutely incredible.
To be honest, when he hit it, I thought it was going to be a goal, mate. We turned and looked at each other. What a save! It really was a good save, and like Dicko said there, he's really impressed me, Dieng. I think what we've
starting the summer by a long way,
£1.5 and £2 million. I don't think he's put a foot wrong this season. I think
and that was basically just to pay his wages out of his contract, wasn't it?
He's been really good. He's been absolutely spot on.
And to think QPR fans were saying, "Oh, we'll give him a lift up here for nothing," we don't want him. And I thought,
I actually think of the podcast last season, how much I thought of Zach Steffen as a goalkeeper, a decent goalkeeper, superb distribution, and he was worth the risk at the back because he got one the front foot. But I actually think Seny Dieng is actually better than Zach Steffen with his distribution. I think he takes less risks with it, and I think he mixes it up a bit more. He doesn't just go short all the time. If he needs to kick it long, he'll kick it long, and he mixes it up a little bit more. I think, which is a better armament for Middlesbrough, because I think last season was so predictable at the back. You knew that Steffen was going to nearly all the time play short, and teams would try and counter-attack that and try to box it in. But Dieng's not like that. Dieng will just go, if there's somebody on long, say Coburn's on, you'll give him it, wham, straight up the pitch. And his distribution is really, really good. So I never thought I'd say this, but we could possibly have an upgrade in the goalkeeping department this season. He's been really good. Long may it continue.
I never thought we'd have a George Michael reference. Wham.
That's a Geordie reference. That's what we say when it's boiling hot. We say it's a bit wham. We also say it's a bit George Michael, but never mind. There you go.
Yeah, that's a different subject. I'm not talking about that one. Right. Other talking point from the first half, the red card. I didn't see it live. I just happened to look up, and Jared Gillett was waving a yellow card. And straight away I said, "You did that. I'm sure that's his second yellow." And all of a sudden, ping. That's what we say when something that comes out quick in Teesside. Ping. A red card came out.
Well, I tell you what, the funny thing is, you've got all these Sunderland supporters and Tony Mowbray whinging and crying about this red card, and yet it was deafening silence last season, wasn't it? In the same fixture.
Oh yeah, it was different.
I got a red.
Yeah.
Doesn't football have a funny and great way of turning things?
Calm as the B word. That's all I'm saying.
He was also a little bit quiet when the Blackburn player of his kicked Dale Fry's head off.
Yep.
Aye.
Exactly.
Well, he wasn't quiet. He just he defended his player. Now, rightly or wrongly, whether or not he should do that, he was wrong for the Blackburn incident, and he was wrong again on Saturday because, the referee probably told the players, beforehand, foul abusive language directed towards me will get you a yellow card, because he showed no hesitancy. He brandished it straight away and he sent him off, which played into our hands. Great advantage to us. But like Cuts has said there, it only evens up what happened last time.
Exactly. I mean, if you watch it back, as I have many times, you can see, because obviously Sky have the camera from afar in the main stand, and it shows Gillett's hands. He puts his hand out. He's obviously telling him, right, leave it. And he kept going. He just went right. And it's happening in the Premier League. I mean, look at was it last season, Mario Lemina for Wolves? because he was the third person to run up to the referee. He got a second yellow and got sent off. So, it's not a new rule. It's not like something it's just been,
Well, it needs
up.
to happen more. It needs to happen more. It needs to be more consistent, and then maybe it'll, the penny will drop, and the referees won't get so much abuse. Now, I'm not saying that that they shouldn't be questioned about some decisions they make, but if the rules are there, yellow card if you direct foul and abusive language towards the officials, then it's there.
Exactly.
And he just played it to the letter of the law.
I bet there's no Sunderland player does that again the next game they play. I bet you they're told by Tony Mowbray before the game, anybody opens their mouth, they'll have me to deal with, because they'll be told. And that'll have a ripple effect, hopefully, through football, because, my daughter used to be a referee and she used to get abuse as a young girl refereeing. People need to wake up. There's a way to treat people with respect and how to speak to people, and just effing and jeffing and shouting and being aggressive in people's faces isn't the way. Referees, whether they make mistakes, they're trying their best. Now, my take on Saturday with the referee was Dan Neil was lucky to be on the pitch, because he's first booking could have been a red card. He was high, he was studs up, he just missed Coburn's shin, otherwise it would have been a straight red. Now, the referee could have given him a red card straight away for that. And I think that's what played in the referee's mind. He's actually thought, I've already given you a chance. I've let you stay on the pitch there when I could have sent you off. That was your chance. And you're coming to me now, being abusive and aggressive, in me face, swearing. I've had enough of you, off you go. And fair play to the referee. Fair play for that, because it'll stop it eventually. It'll only happen 2 or 3 times in the championship, and everybody will be telling the players, enough's enough, calm down.
If it can work in rugby union, it can work in football.
Exactly.
It's about implementing it.
Of course it is. It's about the referee taking, respect to the referee. You know what I mean? And that's what it's down to. And
the thing is, I mean, that was the game changer, really, wasn't it? It was really advantageous for us. We had the halftime to have a chat, discuss how we were going to approach the second half with a man advantage. So yeah, I mean, clubs are not going to want to lose any of their players just through dissent, just through anger issues or whatever on the pitch. So yeah, I hope it does clamp down. But that decision benefited us, even though we played well first half. It benefited us, and anyway, we went on to wipe the floor with them second half.
I mean,
let's not forget we should have had a penalty first half.
Yeah. I was just about to say about that, about Crooks.
A blatant penalty, yeah. And the Middlesbrough players didn't go throwing themselves into the referee's face and asking for a penalty. It was a blatant penalty. It was missed, obviously, innocently missed. He wasn't looking at it at the time. The linesman was quite far away from the incident, but it was a blatant penalty. If that's in the Premier League, it's a penalty. So he made mistakes for both teams.
Did the TV pick that up? I mean, because I haven't seen any replay of the game.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they didn't make a big deal of it, but they did say it should be a penalty.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it back, John, I'll send you a copy. It's great watching.
No, I've seen it because I think Dicko put it on Twitter and I seen the incident. But like I say, I just haven't watched the game again, so I don't know what the commentary team made of it.
I'll send you.
They said it was a penalty, but they didn't sort of go on and on about the type of thing. But that's in the Premier League; it just goes to VAR and it's a penalty. So he made mistakes for both teams. The referee, end of the day, that's football.
I mean, forgetting that, like the first half, I thought it was pretty even. They had one good chance. We also had a good chance that sort of was cleared off the line ish, but a lot of credit's got to go to Michael Carrick for that second half and all of them players, because we've seen it against 10 men. It's not as easy as it sounds. We played absolutely perfect football in that second half of how you play against 10 men. The wingers were literally touching the touchline. It was absolutely perfect. We fed the wide men plenty, made plenty of space for the midfield. Hackney making runs forward. it was excellent from what Carrick and the management team told them at halftime, and fair play to the players who implemented what they were told.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Right, I've waited long enough. I'm getting into it. Right. Second half, first goal. Dale Fry turns into his inner Franz Beckenbauer and pings a ball beautifully into the middle of the box. Sam Greenwood slots it in. I know what me and you did. Gentlemen, in a scale of 1 to 10, how many steps did you fall down when we scored? Because that away end went absolutely loopy.
Yeah. I don't know how far I fell, but you just turn and sort of grab the person either side of you, and it just ends up sometimes in a tumble, and it did on Saturday. But it was a well taken goal, and Dale Fry that turn that he done to lose the Sunderland player and then put that perfect ball into Greenwood. Hey, tell you what, that's a class assist. That was brilliant, and that goal obviously give us a bit of breathing space. 0-0, 10 men, like you say, Steve. It could have been tricky for us. It could have been difficult if they'd have just like Cardiff did on Tuesday. If they'd have just put 2 banks of 4, stopped us getting through them. But at 1-0, they had to then try and rescue the game, which gave us a few more opportunities to push ourselves into.
It did. I mean, the finish was just it was good, wasn't it? Like it was his first time across his body, opened his right foot up and passing and goal, and absolutely no chance, did he?
Oh no, I mean, yeah, like you summed up perfectly there. I mean, Dale Fry's turn, ball in, smash, 1-0. Let's go mental.
It was a bizarre moment because just prior to that, Lucas Engel thought he was going to turn into Emerson, prime Emerson at the Stadium Light and smash one at the top corner from 30 yards. And he rocketed it, and I was right behind that, and I could see it. And I thought it was going in. And it took the deflection, then we recycled it wide to Dale Fry, and you thought, dear me. Dale Fry drops his shoulder, and you're thinking, what's going on here? Next thing you know, cross in, back of the net. Brilliant goal. A bizarre moment, but a fantastic moment for every Middlesbrough fan because my shins are still recovering, put it that way. But it was a brilliant goal. And what I liked about Greenwood was his movement, near post. We haven't had movement like that since Andres Sparrow. Andres Sparrow used to love a near post. Jones would go wide, cut it near post. Sparrow would come across, and he got a few goals like that. And we haven't had that movement. It was nice to see. And Greenwood done the same thing. He gambled, went across the near post, and he had the awareness just to turn the power on the cross into the roof of the net. It was a superb finish by Greenwood. Brilliant.
Oh, superb. I mean, the best thing was there was 2 of them at the front post as well, because if Greenwood didn't get it, Coburn was there. He was stood there. I'm not saying you'd have done the same thing, but it was just good that we had 2 strikers, 2 poachers that were willing to make that movement to the front post and gamble. Yeah. That Dale Fry turned to some sort of special winger and put an absolute peach on a plate for you, because it was a beautiful ball in, and yeah.
That's what you've got to do in the box, so you can't stand and wait for the ball to come to you. You've got to make that move, get there first. So yeah, great finish. Like you say, he angled his foot, passed it through Patterson's hands. But to be fair, it was too fast for Patterson. He couldn't stop it. But what a goal, and what a celebration! Like in the stands, absolutely superb. Really enjoyed it.
It was a great celebration from the players as well. It was like a front up of, yeah. We can do that. We can do that. The best part of it all though was Tommy Smith playing the dad. Like, behave, right? Behave. Get back here now, and get back over there. It was, but then
I think we got lucky with Tommy Smith. Because I said before the game, I think I said last podcast when I messaged in, I would have played Tommy Smith against Sunderland because he'd the experience and his know-how. And when I seen Vandenberg up against Clark, I was a bit apprehensive. And then obviously, unfortunately for Vandenberg, got injured and Smith come in. And I think that was a bonus for Middlesbrough on Saturday, that Smith started the game. And I thought he had another good game. I think against Cardiff and against Sunderland, he's had 2 really, really good games in a row. Tommy Smith, and credit to him, he played really well.
He played really, really well. He was another leader on the pitch. It was fantastic. And then just as we were all recovering, getting back to our feet, straightening our clothes back up because we'd been dragged all over the shop. Isaiah Jones makes Jack Clark look silly, puts him on his ass, puts it to the byline. There's Matt Crooks again. John Don, did that have a bit of a feel of a Norwich away when Crooks pinged it top corner there?
Yeah, it did. And I thought Jones was really clever because all the time he was looking up and he was waiting and he was looking up, and then he delivered the pass. I think it went through one of these Sunderland defenders' legs. And it wasn't just a random hit in the box. He was looking up. He saw Matt Crooks coming in, and he put it there for him. Like you said, just like at Norwich, although it was a bit closer at Norwich. But yeah, Crooks put it in that top corner and then ran away and took the mick, didn't he, with a Shearer type goal celebration.
His inner Alan Shearer came straight out.
And you know what? I bet that was meant because he is a sort of like a bit of a comic, isn't he? You know, that they'll have discussed this, and I bet he thought to himself that if I score at the Stadium of Light, I'm doing a Shearer, and it was great. It was great.
It was superb.
It was definitely meant, and I'll tell you, I was listening to the Gary Lineker podcast that he does with Shearer and Mika Richards, called The Rest Is Football, which is a great podcast to watch, by the way. And they mentioned it on there. Lineker said, "Did you see Matt Crooks scoring in the Derby game against Sunderland?" And Shearer said he absolutely loved it. He said, "If you're going to wind the Mackems up," he says, "they'll have been fuming with that." He says, "Absolutely loved it." He says, "And I wanted to retweet it, the video of him doing it, running away, doing the Shearer." He said, "But I couldn't." He says, "because I knew the abuse I would get off the Sunderland fans if I retweeted it." He says, "But I loved every second of it." So it was obviously being done deliberately by Matt Crooks. Brilliant.
Oh God,
Brilliant.
yeah. It was definitely planned because, I say, when you watch it back, yeah, the camera has his bang on Crooks, and he's obviously got his hand in the air, and he just looks at that main stand and just has a little smile on his face. He's like, "I know what I'm doing. I know what you're doing, and I'm loving every moment of this. If you want to give me it, just give me it. I'm not bothered." And then the camera goes the other way, and there's Isaiah Jones and Hayden Hackney doing exactly the same, giving it to them not that way. And there's Tommy Smith again.
Pulling them away.
Pull them away, go and get back over there now and behave.
Yeah. Players get enough criticism during games. If they're going to score a goal, as a fan, I'll take it back me. But Crooks doing that, Jones shushing him, Hackney almost ending up in their end when we scored. I'm all for that, me.
Oh, I am.
It's part of football. I love winding some of the players up, but you know, it goes about them doing that to them. Forces smile, doing his little smiley face when they were all obviously fuming. You know what I mean? I love every single bit of it.
I love a bit of housery, me.
The thing is, it's a passionate sport. It's a game that you've got to celebrate like that. If you score a goal, especially in a game that's not a derby, but it's our closest rivals. You know, yeah. Celebrate however you want, you know, and if it's to wind the opposition fans up, great, because your own fans, I'll absolutely love you for it.
You what?
I always think Sunderland miss a trick because they always try to downplay the game against Middlesbrough, but Middlesbrough always look at it as a proper derby game, and I always think that plays to our advantage because they don't, in my opinion, take it as seriously as what we do as fan base, coaching staff, and players, and I think they do. I think they do. I really don't. Honestly, I don't. I've said this for years. And
did you not see the flag display?
Yeah. They can do all that. They can do all that. Carry on, but I think deep down they don't care as much as what we do. They do think it's a derby, but they like to downplay it because if they get beat, they can say it's not a derby. If they win, they can load it. But it's like a default setting in case they get beat. But I think it has an impact on them. And I think Middlesbrough, if you look at it, we've got Michael Carrick, who's a Geordie, we've got Grant Ledbetter on the bench, Jonathan Woodgate on the bench, all know exactly what it means to us. In the team, you've got local lads and Hackney and Fry. You know, you've got, like, say, Matt Crooks, who you know cares massively about Middlesbrough Football Club and the fans. And I always just think we do them every time because we just care that little bit more. And in football, sometimes that 1% and 2% matters. And I just think it matters. In Middlesbrough, they've got a great record against Sunderland, in my opinion, and that comes into the equation.
Well, to be honest, I don't care what they think about it. To me,
totally care. Yeah, I don't care.
There's a very, very strong rivalry. If they want their derby with Newcastle, then you know they're a long way off it, because that's not going to happen for a lot of years. So in the meantime, yeah, see us as their nearest rivals and go for it. Which they do, you know, they really do. Their fans don't like. Their fans don't like Borough. So, yeah, it's not the derby. Their derby is Newcastle. But, hey, listen, we work with them, Sunderland fans, both at Teesside and Wearside, you know. So I'm sure on Monday there was some brilliant banter going on. Teesside lads going to work, either up in Wearside or the Wearside lads who were working in Teesside getting loads of stick. Brilliant. Yeah, great. I mean, the fact that it's 4-0 and it was history making, the biggest ever win we've had at the stadium. I'm like, yeah, brilliant. You know, formidable.
Very good, very good. Right, goal number 3. I was going to say, is it offside? I couldn't care. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. Right. Stick that to your pot. I'm not bothered, right? Isaiah Jones got the ball because it was another goal where we just ripped him a bit again. We got the ball in the midfield and we just danced through him. And Rodgers played that lovely ball. I know they were saying, oh, well, 09 got fouled, but I'm not being funny. He tried to drag Latte Laugh on the floor and got floored. So don't even try and pull that one. And then Isaiah Jones got the ball, cut inside, put Patterson on the floor, put Ballard on the floor, and just rolled the ball in the net. Beautiful finish.
I mean, we've mentioned tonight a couple of times about Jones. We've talked in the past about his final ball. We've always thought he was good as a winger. It's always been about his final ball when he's in front of goal. Does he take that little extra touch or a little bit more composure to finish it? Saturday is exactly what we want to see from Isaiah Jones. That goal, it was nice and composed after he got the ball, cut inside, nice and composed, 3-0, game over. Let the fun begin.
Yeah, I think
sorry. I was just going to say, let's be honest. As much as Middlesbrough's revival is credit to Michael Carrick, Middlesbrough's revival is being Michael Carrick starting Riley McGree and Isaiah Jones more regularly over the last few games because the pair of them have been outstanding. Isaiah Jones, people keep saying, well, can't wait for him to get back to what he was. He's getting better. His final ball's getting better. I think now Isaiah Jones is better than he's ever been in a Middlesbrough shirt. I think on Saturday that was his best ever performance in a Middlesbrough shirt, and he's right back to where he was or where he's ever been. I mean, if you're a Premier League manager watching that game on Saturday morning, what price is Isaiah Jones now in football? Because there's not many players at Championship level can do what he does. He's a Premiership player. He's a quality player, and we're lucky to have him. I think he's outstanding footballer, and we've got a real talent on our hands again. He had a bad, personal problem last season in his own personal life, which would have hampered anybody.
Yeah.
But since then, he's got over it. He's sorted it out. He's come back, and I think now he's better than he's ever been. I think he's sensational.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, do not take this as me putting this price tag on him, right? But if Spurs are paying Nottingham Forest 40 to 45 million quid for Brennan Johnson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to pose the question. He's not far off that. I know Brennan Johnson's good, but he's not that good, is he? You know what I mean?
I think with Isaiah's got to have a consistent run of a season to be up for that type of price bracket. I mean, Johnson's had a few good seasons for Forest, and as a player, I quite like him. But
if you look at Jones's stats, John, you look at Jones's stats over the last 3 seasons for goals and assists. he'll be up there right at the top for any winger in the Championship level.
I think if Jones can sort his final ball out, he has everything, every attribute to play in the Premier League.
Yeah,
100%. Absolutely.
He'll be there next year anyway. Just saying.
He will indeed.
He'll be there next year anyway. Don't worry about it. And then that takes us on to number 4. I think it shows how comfortable we were, John Don, that Marcus Forss put the ball in the net and did not celebrate. He just did a cheeky smile, which rads them even more.
It was hilarious.
And watch them all walk out. And then obviously they did, give each other high fives, etc. But they didn't celebrate massively. It was just like, yeah, get the ball.
I think they were going to. I think they were going to celebrate, but when they turned, there was just empty red seats, so they didn't know what to do.
Pink. Right, let's get that right. Pink. They aren't red, them seats.
I thought it was a decent finish. I know it was like sort of well, you could class it as a bit of a tap-in, but it was quite high, the ball, so he had to sort of get over it, keep it down. But Lath put a hell of a shot in that Patterson pushed into the centre of the goal, and obviously Forss then rose and put it away. And that just, I think that was the final one, where that fourth goal, where I ended up stuck in between seats with a 15-stone bloke on top of me. It was, that was our final celebration. So I've got a bruised back and I had a filthy t-shirt, but that was great. I mean, you spoke, Dicko, about Carrick taking credit. Well, do you know what? Of course he should, because he was getting pelters a few weeks ago. Even on here, some were saying change the formation, do this, do that. No, he's learned from Alex Ferguson. It's repetition. It's doing the same thing. Little tweaks here and there will change things. And we could see in parts in games that we were a decent side, but now it's slowly coming together. The new players this season have had a few more minutes under the belt. Sam Greenwood done well. He done well against Cardiff. He done well on Saturday. Lath come on against Cardiff. He come on against Sunderland. He looked bright. Vandenberg looks steady, looks solid. Engels got over his Sheffield Wednesday nightmare. We're just starting to get together as a team and iron out little problems. And that's down to Carrick, down to Woodgate, Ledbetter. And it's also down to Gibbo being patient and not going with the knee-jerk reaction that we saw over social media when we were bottom of the league. It was early days. It's still early days now. We're not in a position I want us to be in. I want us to be higher. But I think that we're playing better football, we're scoring goals, and we can progress in the next few games.
Yeah, I think it's good not to get too high and too low. We were bottom for a reason, and now we're on this unbeaten run, 5 wins in a row for a reason. I think it's because we've had that many new players in. It's took Michael Carrick a while to knuckle down on what he thinks is his perceived best 11, 12, 13 players. And I think he knows that now. I'm not saying he's got it on the pitch yet because we've got a few players still injured and stuff like that. But I think he knows now in his mind what his strongest 11 or 12, 13 players are. And I think it's also, there's a few players that were playing at the start of the season now are doing what I thought they'd do now, which is be impact players, coming off the bench, scoring, nicking goals and late on in games. And I think we're in a better place now. I think Michael Carrick's in a better place. I think the players in a better place. And long may it continue. And like you said, credit to Michael. You've got, when people are, I've given stick on here, rightly so, in my opinion. I'll give my honest opinion. But you've also got to be big enough and honest enough that when they're doing well, to give them praise. And at the moment, Michael Carrick and the coaching staff and the players deserve all the credit, all the plaudits, because they've won 5 games in a row. They've just won the local derby 4-0. We're only 4 points off the playoffs, back in the mix, and you know we're in a good place as a club from top to bottom again. Football can change, like I've said on here many times, very, very quickly. It's a lot of it's confidence, a lot of it's in the mind, a lot of it's luck. But whichever way you get it, you want it. And at the minute, Middlesbrough have got it. So let's hope this little good spell continues. The fixtures coming up don't look too daunting to me. You look at them and you think, we might get something there, we might get something there. A couple of home games you might fancy with too. But it's important also, the next couple of games that we'll lose, which we will do eventually, not to get too down as well. You've got to try and keep a happy medium. But let's be honest, how many games have played now in the league?
11.
11 is 11. You know, I think the league starts to take a bit of shape, sort of 15, 16 games in, you sort of get a bit of an idea. I think, we're popping in the right direction, aren't we?
We walloped the top 4 team 4-0 with a lot of our better players missing.
Yeah, and Cardiff as well.
Out injured. And like you said, you know, Balassa comes in place of Housen, has a great game. Absolutely strolled the midfield. Looks to put dangerous balls through all the time. He's benefiting from a run of games, so he's benefiting from other players out of the team, sadly, you know. But we spoke last season about him not taking his chances. Well, he's took them this time. You know, he played well against Cardiff. He's played well against Sunderland, and really, even after the international break, and we play Birmingham. For me, he should keep his place in the team because he deserves it.
I like Carrick's getting his lucky mojo back as well when he's making these decisions now. They're coming off. Even on Saturday, bringing Marcus Force on, you know, and he scores a goal. Last season, he made so many decisions where you questioned them. We were on here every week going, but he got it right again. He got it right again. I think at the start of this season was the first time where there was a few decisions were being questioned and he wasn't getting them right. But now he seems to have got that back again. It's great having a lucky manager. It's great having a manager with new ideas, a philosophy how to play, an attacking, exciting team to watch. And we're getting that back again, and it's suddenly, I think all the fan base, people watching now, we've got that little bit of buzz back again. Are we as good as last season? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But we've got January to come. If we're up there thereabouts, I'm sure Gibbo will get his checkbook out again. We could have another decent season. I think any fan now, if we can make the playoffs again like last season, would take it. I certainly would. You know, as long as we can keep with the club on an upward trajectory, because this summer, when we bought 22,000 season tickets, we expected to be changing. And I think the poor start was a bit of a shock, and it knocked the wind out of everybody's sails. And I'm pleased we've quickly seemed to overcome that. And now there's a real optimism, both in the stands and on the pitch again. And I think that's a massive armament for Middlesbrough, because we've talked about it on here. When the fans and the team are aligned together on and off the pitch, we're a dangerous commodity. And I think we're getting the mojo back.
I mean, I think one thing that's gone largely unnoticed, and for me, the last 2 games, we've looked a lot more solid at the back. I mean, Cardiff had Worthy at the bar, so they've had one decent chance. Dieng made a really good save on Saturday. I think in general, in the last 2 games, we have definitely tightened up at the back. Not just about us not conceding goals because we've kept 2 clean sheets, but I think in a general play, we haven't looked as open at the back as what we had done previously. And that again goes down to the coaching team and the players taking on board what they're being told.
Huge call on Saturday again, you know, by Michael Carrick. And again, they got it right, was Darrell Lenihan. Mm-hmm. Keeping faith with Tommy, with Paddy McNair. That was a big call, but he got it right. And it's what you love, John Cutler, which is if you're playing well and you've got the shirt, you should keep it. 100%. You've done exactly what you wanted on Saturday, Carrick. I was a little bit unsure about it, to be honest. I was thinking I might have wanted Lenihan in for the Derby game. He's a leader, but I tell you what, well played Paddy McNair and well played Michael Carrick, because it was the right decision.
He got a bit of stick at the start of the season, Paddy, but he's been here for a few years now. We know he's a good player, and he's only proved it again, especially the last 2 games. I think he's come in and I think he's done exactly what Michael Carrick would have asked from him. He's comfortable on the ball. He can bring it out. He can bring the midfielders into play. He offers us a lot as a centre half, McNair. And like I say, I think he deserves a lot of praise in the last 2 games, Paddy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when we bought him, because we bought him from Sunderland, didn't we? When they went down in 2018, there was one player they didn't want to lose, and that was him. And they all admitted it, and they all said it. We didn't want to lose Paddy, but we've lost him because obviously we've got to League One. So he's been brilliant for 5 years. You know what I mean? He's been here for 5 years now. He's
a solid Championship player.
Yeah. There was always the questions of, is it getting to... Players always have a cycle, don't they, at clubs? Was he getting towards the end of that cycle? Yeah. But very quietly, he had a very good game Saturday.
He did.
He had a very good game because the young lad up front, is it Burstow, who they got on loan from, is it Chelsea?
I think it was Eric Bristow on Saturday, wasn't he?
and there's another Chelsea link.
Yeah, it's... And he had nothing. He got absolutely nothing, that young kid.
Like I say, again, another player that I've criticised a lot at the start of the season, and I did last season. Dale Fry, the last 2 games, has really turned it around and started to perform to a level that I know he's capable of. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I say what I see. So if he's not performing, I'll say it. But
we've gone from Eric Bristow to Roy Walker. How have you done that?
the last two games he's been.
It's good, but it's not right.
He's been outstanding.
How have you
What's
done
Mr.
that?
Chips doing?
See what you see. Good God. Man. But you're absolutely right. He put that armband on and he was a proper leader on Saturday. Yeah, he was a proper leader.
He had a good game.
He had a very good game. That was 11, 12.
Look, we won 4-0, so there's not going to be any sort of...
Sorry, say that again for me. We won what?
We won 4-0 and there's not going to be any negativity.
No.
There can't be any negativity from us towards Saturday's performance. So yeah, like I said, it's 5 on the bounce now. Decent turnaround, but we're not out of the woods. We've got to be patient. We've got to keep on doing what we're doing, and just slowly but steadily try and pick up points and climb up the league table. We're not far from the playoffs. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Steady away.
Exactly.
I mean, we've talked about performances on the pitch there. I've been to in the 90s Old Trafford when we took 10,000 in the League Cup semi-final, 10,000 when we won on penalties the other year. That away end on Saturday, each and every one of them fans, give yourself a pat on the back because it was absolutely fantastic support. Fantastic. Second half, it was just non-stop. And even in the first half, the fans were really good. It was absolutely unbelievable.
Oh,
great to be part of, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
it was unbelievable. I mean, we've been part of hundreds of away ends, up and down the years, but that was special Saturday. That was very, very special. It was something else to be part of. It was just, yeah. And, we even got a standing ovation off the Sunderland fans after 60 odd minutes when they all got up and left. You know what I mean? It was just like, thank you very much. Beautiful. Get out. It was, that's our day now. You've had yours. Go and get your cheesy chips or something. No. It was superb. It must have been, turning around to it must have been embarrassing to lose like that at home to a team you don't consider a rival.
Oh, of course they do.
You know what I mean?
It's nonsense.
Of course they do.
We seen what they thought about it when we were coming out of the ground at the end of the game, and there wasn't that many of them left, to be honest.
Oh, I enjoyed every moment. I love that hat, by the way. I want that hat.
They were absolutely fuming.
This is yours, Steve, by the way. I meant to bring it in, but as you can see, I'm not with you. I'm at home, so
that's fine. That can wait.
I'll see you soon.
Are those hats readily available, like John?
They're readily, whitely, and bluely available.
And what type of price range are they going for, John?
They're going for £15.
So anyone who's interested, there you go.
There you go. For £15, you can look just like John Don. And I was going to say unlike me, but that's just going to put everybody off, so I wouldn't do that to you. But No, it was, I loved every motor being stood on that gate, by the way. And they were all the helicopters were keeping them there. I loved getting my flag out and just stood there like, oh, come on. Give it. Let's see what you got. And
they were hurling the usual insults, and we just stood there laughing. It was, what are you getting so agitated about? It's not a derby. Calm down.
What are you crying for?
It was unbelievable.
What are you crying for? It's not a derby. It's just another Saturday game.
The thing is, we celebrated just like they've won at the Riverside before, and they've celebrated and taunted us. But now, that game's gone. We've got to be, getting people fit over this international break.
Yeah.
We've got to let those who are on international duty hopefully come back unscathed and go give some people a couple of days off.
Exactly.
That result's gone. As good as it was, as good as the performance was, as good as what it was to be part of that away atmosphere, we've got to look to Birmingham now and just consolidate what we've achieved over the last 5 games.
Is it still Birmingham or is it Wayne Rooney's Birmingham now?
Well,
like it was Wayne Rooney's Derby County.
Yeah, probably Wayne Rooney's Birmingham.
If you listen to next week, I'll soon tell you.
I was pleased to hear that McGree and Vandenberg have pulled out of the international games, so that's good for us because I'd rather they weren't risked. So that's good. Do we have any man of the matches for this Saturday?
I've got. I know my man of the match was. Yeah, I'm not picking any. In the past, when we performed poorly, I haven't given man the match. I can't single one player out. The whole lot of them man the match. Yeah. Every single player, the subs, the management.
I'm going to whack all that. If you're going to give it to anyone, there's fans in that away end on Saturday that have been to some absolute dross. Over the years where we've gone to places like Barnsley and Birmingham and Burton and Newport and places like that and suffered badly. That was for them Saturday. That was for them, yes, I'm one of them, I know, but it was for them. It was for the fans that have suffered. We deserved every minute of that, and them players give us every bit of joy on Saturday. It was just absolute delight to be part of. I absolutely loved it.
It's the whole lot for me.
Yeah, just from waking up to leaving that stadium, it was just amazing.
About you, John, have you got a man the match?
Yeah, I have. Are
you sure?
Yes. I'm just trying to choose my words. There's so many players who performed well. I mean, Senny Dieng didn't have to do a great deal, but what he did do was vital. And, he kept the scoreline to 0-0. He was commanding. Like Dicko said earlier, he's a shouter from the back and he organises things and he tells people when they've got things wrong. So I'm not going to give it to him, but he had a great game. I'm going to give it to Balassa because I thought in such a hostile type of game, he was the calmness in midfield. And like I say, he was trying to find the ball all the time. He was always looking for the ball. So Balassa really sort of stood out for me. I know Jones got it on the TV, and he had a brilliant game. But for me, I liked what Balassa done.
You go.
I would go Isaiah Jones purely and simply because, like I always say, as an opposition manager, I would say which player would I wish wasn't playing for Middlesbrough today, and it was Isaiah Jones. And I think that game will go down as the Isaiah Jones derby because he was that good. He was electrifying.
It's not a derby.
Well, sorry, clash. It was the Isaiah Jones clash, but I thought he was electrifying all game. They couldn't cope with him. That little skill he done when he just done the little flip flop through the two of them. His cross wasn't the best, but it was like Premier League skills that he had on show. Little nutmeg for the assist for Crooks. He took his goal, nutmeg the goalkeeper. He shushed the Mackims in the corner. Absolutely sensational.
Why was he getting booed every time he got the ball? Was there an incident that I just didn't see or something? But he was getting booed even before we took the lead.
Didn't he have an incident at the Riverside against one of the Sunderland players where there was a bit of a niggle? I think that's what it was from last season.
No, from then.
Yeah, I think it was from that. But you know, also I always think, you know, if you're getting stick from the home fans early doors, it's because you're a threat.
You're doing well, yeah.
Exactly. And on that beautiful bombshell.
No, we need yours. What was yours? Did you say the same as?
If I was going to pick a player, I'd probably say the same as Kutch. Yeah, I can't give it to anyone. I thought the whole lot were brilliant. But if I had to single someone out, I thought Sam Greenwood was brilliant.
He was good.
Good
I thought he was
Very
absolutely
good.
brilliant. I thought he was a game changer.
And what's your thoughts on the news that there's a
buy him.
price? There's a price on him
Oh,
at the end of the season of $1.5 million, which, to be honest, that's
Paid.
peanuts, isn't it, in this day and age?
paid.
He's 2-footed, he's mobile, and he looks a real threat. And I think we haven't seen anything yet of what's going to come from that lad, mate.
No.
I would give him till January, and if he's still performing at the level he's performing now in January, I get it done then.
Yeah.
No, there's no need. There's no if it's in there. There's no need to do it January. No need to do it early. Why give the money to Leeds to sit in their bank account? Leave it in ours.
The risk
or
of that
put it elsewhere.
The risk of that is, John, if he does exceptionally well, even though there's a deal in place with Leeds, he could then get a whisper from agents. You know what modern football's like these days, and say,
Well, that was my thoughts as
I
well.
wouldn't do that. So and so is interested. But if we know he's a bargain at 1.5 million, I'm with Dick or me. I don't see why we wouldn't just bring it forward and say, okay, then we'll do it now.
And it doesn't matter if it's in Leeds United's bank account. They don't know how to spend money anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Obviously, do it in the last minute as well, so they can't spend it. So, you know.
They can't spend money anyway. Look at them. See what they spend their money on.
They can spend money, but not wisely.
Exactly.
So that's fine.
They can do what they want with their money. I'm not bothered. But yeah, on that lively note, I think I'll finish this off. It took a while to get them to realise it was a derby, even though it's not, and it probably never will be ever again to them. It's to us. We were all there. We were all part of it, and they'll never forget how bad it was walking out at 70 minutes when it got really, really bad for them. Because we've never had that against either of them, have we? Ever. So, take it on the
favours the brave.
Exactly.
John, what do wise men say again?
Only fools rush in.
How's that?
And I can't help
falling in love.
4-0.
4-0 in love with you.
4-0 in love with you. That's right. That's what it was. I thought that's what I was singing.
So just before we go, with people just tuning in now, recap from Saturday was Sunderland AFC 0, Middlesbrough FC 4.
Recorded.
It's one of those scores where the video printer used to put the brackets FOUR and then the brackets.
for all the youngsters.
For those of you who remember that.
As all the youngsters listening, a video printer was something we all used to follow, not our phones.
Yeah, switching off the Google and video printer.
Exactly. We used to go on teletext at 4:45 to try and get all the results up. So, and teletext was part of your telly. You don't have that anymore. But
this is a history lesson.
I know, it's great.
Yeah.
But anywho, lads, thank you very much for popping on. And going through that again. So we do it again tomorrow. I mean, I'd do it every day this week, mate. It was an absolute joy. Exactly you what. It was just brilliant. It was great to be part of it with you as well on Saturday. It was just special, amazing. Coach, thank you very much for popping in.
Absolute pleasure.
Always. There he is.
Don in the hat.
Which are available in red, white, and blue for £15, by the way. If you want to give the page a message, we'll get you sorted out. And I'll leave you with Dicko's famous words to
Sunderland get
out.
battered everywhere they go.
Sunderland get battered everywhere they go.
Everywhere they go. 1, 2, 3,
Thank you
4.
for listening to the 12th Man podcast. Hope to see you all again next week.
See you, boys.